Hello. I'm just gonna start this shit off truthful, honest, and transparent. I'm not terrible at this. The biggest thing to do is to never speak down on yourself. I'm uncomfortable with speaking to a camera, and in regards to posting content, I'm not with that bullshit. But I guess we need to get the introduction done, right? Because that's what you're supposed to do. My name is H. It's not my real name. It's a name that I go by, a name I prefer. I am the CEO and founder of TipBux. Let me put this down because there's some proprietary shit on there. All this is cool. That's personal. So yeah, I'm making this video. One, because I had a couple glasses of wine, and I think it loosens me up to pause. But it just kind of makes me comfortable. There's a lot of proprietary shit on there. Fuck. Yeah, there's no proprietary shit on there. Whoa. There's a lot of proprietary shit on that wall. I have to bring this down some. And I'm gonna have to stand here to block the proprietary shit on this wall. Cause it's proprietary. It's pretty proprietary. Anywho, I'm H. So anyway, I am the founder of TipBux. And what TipBux is simply a mobile tipping app that allows you to send tips directly to your bartenders and to your servers and any other service workers in regards to the full service restaurant industry. Now, I'm not here to talk about my business too much because obviously this is more of a creative conversation that I want to have or what I want to speak about. So it's a lot of shit on here. Is it a lot of shit on here? These are just ideas. These are numbers. It's nothing crazy. Y'all won't understand this shit anyway, cause I write in code. I'm a non-tech founder, by the way, so I don't do tech. I do no-code solutions. And the reason I started doing no-code solutions was because I'm a designer. So this is what this entire thing is about. I'm a designer, so I'm a self-taught designer. I was taught about Adobe Illustrator back in 2008 from a friend of mine named Stefan, which is my first name initially also, but he goes by the moniker Neek. And he started a clothing line back in 2008 called Young Yacht Owners. And we used to hang out at a studio by my homie Carl, who's a photographer, one of the most amazing photographers. He shot for like XXL and Vibe, and he should be shooting for Vogue and shit, but he's phenomenal. And he shot a lot of your favorite artists. But anyway, so Carl used to have this studio in Mount Vernon where we all grew up, or where we all lived at the time. And I used to go by there to do music because I used to do music. And Neek at the time was like, why don't you learn Adobe Illustrator? And at that time I had did like small t-shirts, right? Because I'm big on fashion, even though it don't look like it. I think a lot of designers don't dress the part because they create the shit that motherfuckers buy. Anywho, moving forward amicably, so I should have lit an incense. So basically Neek introduced me to Adobe Illustrator, and he wasn't trying to teach me shit. He was more trying to just say, yeah, here's the tool I use. And then I would go hang out and he would give me the mocks from him doing Young Yacht Owners. And then he would go ahead and, just let me run my race. And I was just doing shit as I go. So I'm really self-taught, and introduced to Adobe Illustrator. So when I came up with TipBux, I was in a fucked up position. I got fired from a job that I hated already, so I knew it was the universe doing it for me. So the biggest thing, the problem is that I was trying to make this for myself, right? So I'm being transparent. I fucked up money during that job because I'm big on self-investment. So prior to that job, I had my own clothing line called French Laundry Design Gallery. I guess I can go into that really quick. A friend of mine, Bo, went to a dinner with his friend at French Laundry in California. And he called me and said that the owner of that establishment, Keller, that's his last name, kind of gave them a weird energy, trying to cover up proprietary. Kind of gave them a weird energy. There we go. Kind of gave them a weird energy. And they were there to celebrate his friend and his friend's family selling their company for $600 million. So Bo called me and my friend Bricks and was just going off. Now, it was a lot of tequila in rotation, ganging them. So from there, I was already trying to create a clothing situation because I had decided to not pursue music anymore back in 2018. So I had told Bricks, who was like, my partner at the time, I was like, look, I can't do music right now, just something's going on, but I gotta continue to create. So I was looking for just a name, and I came up with a name, and I was doing this for a while, for like a good year. And then on that phone call with Bo, he was like, yeah, we were at the French Laundry. So I was like, and I was designing at the time. Design, remember the key word tonight is design. I don't want to erase shit, but I'm just gonna write shit, and I'm gonna write it in red. But design, if you can find it and you can see it, then that just means you're paying attention. So design. So basically, short story shorter, I designed a hoodie that had French Laundry on it, and I made it dope. And I was like, you gonna wear this the next time you go. From there, my mind started clicking. Boom. This is what I was looking for. And I created French Laundry Design Gallery. Cool, bet. Okay, cool. So moving forward and coming back to where I was, basically, I was doing that at first. And then I had got into this job because we had did pretty good with French Laundry Design Gallery for a little while. I'm very big on presentation. We had laundry bags. But I basically just created this idea of a delivery where it was a big laundry bag. I designed everything down to the T. And then in our hoodies, because it was French Laundry, when I would sell the hoodies, I would put it in a laundry bag, and then I would add the dryer sheets to make sure that it still smelled like laundry. We created the store where it was me and my cousin Will. I was giving Will and my boy Bricks like free clothes for like the first 8 months because I was just trial and error, right? Just making shit and going and, doing a lot of research and resources. And this is gonna make sense, so just stick to it. I know a lot of people hate the lingering shit. So from there, I was still working for who I was working for, which was two of the biggest label owners and one of the biggest labels in the world. We'll get to that in another video if this one's interesting. I think my dog's coming because he hears me. Anyway, I had money coming in, so I was able to invest. I'm big on self-investment. Even when I was in my musical career, it was just big on just every paycheck, putting money into it on my own. I truly believe in self-investment. So from there, French Laundry happened, and then I had to shut it down. Now, what I saw about French Laundry and what I saw about the market, and you got to understand and pay attention to the market, I'm trying to cover proprietary shit, right, is that even today when I was on my phone, the clothing market is extremely saturated because people could put anything on a shirt and then sell it. And usually what happens in design is you'll have great design, but the life of a small company, people try to tell you consistency is key. It is to a point, but I think the consistency is not just in your ability to sell and be consistent. I think the consistency is in finding a way to figure out people to bring apart or aware of your brand and the uniqueness and how to do that. So from there, what I saw with French Laundry, my cousin who I brought in months later, to kind of come and be the president of the company at the time. He had a great community of people that he knew, and I knew that there were potential customers in that community. So I brought him in, and then he helped with the brand, and it was amazing. We had a great time. I think we learned a lot. At least I learned a lot. And I think he did too, just about what we could do. But in regards to design, I think my dog's coming. In regards to design, this is the thing that I wanted to say was that design is so important and pivotal, but design doesn't just mean designing the shirt and designing the t-shirt. I think design meaning it also means how you communicate to who's looking at your shit. So getting back to that now, I know that took a big circle, so stay with me. So after French Laundry, I took a year off, or not even a year, I took a couple months off, and money was slowing up, and I had to get a job that I really fucking hated. I worked at this fucking call center, right? That was like customer service. I bit the bullet, you know, money was running low. And I haven't done like a customer service job since 2008. When I worked for this company called Warm Biscuit Betting Company right off of Wall Street. So you could imagine my feeling of like going backwards as a creative. You just like, fuck no, nah, I'm not doing this. So let's move forward. So anyway, that's how I got into the job that I worked before TipBux, right? And TipBux was something that happened in regards to like, basically, I was having a shit time. I just hated this fucking job so much because it was just non-creative. It was over micromanaged. It was fucking annoying at times. The only thing I enjoyed was helping people who were like older, like in their 60s or above, because they just couldn't understand how to use the app at the time for that specific job I had. So bringing it back, right? Just stay with me. So I came up with TipBux. And the immediate thing that happened when I came up with TipBux was this, right? I was in the car, I was leaving my home office. This is my home office. And I was in the car, and where I usually go, I usually work in restaurants or bars. That's where I usually take my laptops, and I design or I create or I fucking work and do shit, right? So obviously that means you know a lot of the bartenders and servers there, right? Because you're taking your laptop there constantly, right? So cool. So short story shorter, basically I came up with the concept, and it wasn't called TipBux at first. It was called Tipper. So in my files, I'll see shit that says Tipper, because in the beginning it was called Tip a Buck. And I thought that was corny. See, remember, design is also of the mind. When you're a designer, you also got to think of staying in creative energy. And I was like, Tipper don't really, Tip a Buck sound corny because it's $1. So you just want to tip a buck. And a lot of consumers and users are very literal, so you have to be on point about how you communicate your brand. So boom. So I'm like, okay, boom. Bet, let's make this shit some shit. I rely on the universe. I'm a big meditator. I haven't done it because I've been in a very low energy and vibration as of recent, but that's a part of this journey, so it's a beautiful thing. I appreciate it. But I'm big on meditation and Mother Nature, so I allow the universe and whatever else the fuck you believe in, the holistic and, you know, the energy around all of us to kind of just, you know, come tap me on the shoulder and be like, hey, it's not Tip a Buck, it's TipBux. I was like, we can't spell it B-U-C-K-S because that's corny. Quick letters, quick words. T-I-P-B-U-X. Boom. Came up with it, boom. Now we have that. So now I want to get into it. Let me close this because I don't want y'all seeing this shit in the reflection. So now I want to get into how design came about. So when I came up with TipBux, the immediate thing I did was run to what I knew. And the reason I ran to what I knew was because that is my creative space. That is where I feel as comfortable as I want to feel. And that is the most beautiful thing about this process, is you can always run back to the things that make you creatively inspired. So I went to Adobe Illustrator and I began to design the entire app. I designed it in 2 weeks. The first official day, which will be technically tomorrow, is October 4th, is exactly a year ago when I came up with TipBux and started designing. All of my files have that. And yeah, I didn't ask for this. I was just trying to find a way to be able to not deal with pending transactions because I'm a big giver. And I'm a big giver. I go to this bar around. I live in the country in Florida called Hitchin' Post. And it's a country bar, but it's fire. It's popping, especially for it being nothing else around. And a lot of the girls that work behind the bar, they're great people. So I'm always tipping good. Anytime I tip, it's $5 to $10 every time. And that's whoever's taking care of me. And what happens is I get the love back. You know, I shout out Allie. I went to there one time and I asked Allie, I was like, yeah, let me just get a shot of Reposado tequila. Excuse me. And I got back almost goddamn just enough to say, wow, I'm going to tip you good. But what happened and what I saw as an entrepreneur with dwindling money, and then at that time, you know, I was in a depressive state and I had nothing to invest in. So when I worked that job, I didn't have any ideas. I didn't think about what the fuck I was gonna do next. I didn't have any fucking ideas. So I wasn't investing my money. I was utilizing it in a way to just self-medicate. And what I mean by that is maybe I was smoking, or maybe I was going out to the bars, or maybe I was eating out a lot, because you know you get lost at times. And I don't think that's something that people should have shame of. I think that's something you should understand is it's still a part of this process, right? Because it's the journey that you should appreciate, not the destination. And that sounds corny, but it's true, because every destination changes, because once you get some shit, you want some other shit. So that's a new destination. Going back, right? So basically, the entire way that this shit transpired was because I was in the need to create. And when I created, but the biggest thing about my creation was design. I feel like I just want to just do something with this. I'm on one of these things. I don't know what these things are called. Y'all can see these numbers. These numbers don't mean much. I just don't like being close up to the wall. I just didn't want to show my TV, but it's fine. And I didn't want to show this, yeah, because that's proprietary. Sorry, this is 17 minutes long. All right, I'll show like, motherfucking bitch. Hello, welcome. All right, so anyway, yeah, so short story shorter, man, design is everything, right? And coming up with this was simply a way of me being able to alleviate a problem that I had, because what happened is, as I was going through this time where I had this job, I was just doing whatever the fuck, you feel me? I didn't have anything to invest in as far as my own creations. And what I was doing was going to the bars a lot and just, you know, hanging out, whatever the fuck. And I would see that sometimes, you know, paying bills and coming back with, you know, X, Y, and Z, you tip somebody and the money would come out later. So the banking fees or the pending transactions wouldn't come out. So if I go drink on a Saturday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, that money wouldn't come out till Tuesday or whatever, right? But at the same time, I'm still spending money. So then I end up being in a negative. So I said to myself, damn, I wish I had like just a separate way to tip them. So I wouldn't take, like, basically, let me tip you from this money that I know is going to come directly out. That's how it happened. And then I designed it. And I spent 2 weeks designing it. And I get obsessive when I design, not in the sense of falling in love, in the sense of like making sure that everything's, you know, I'll spend 2-3 days on one button. And that's just how I am, because I'm big on design. And like I said, what people should understand about designers is we may not come off as like the most savvy individuals. I think I'm savvy. I think I'm cool as fuck. But when it comes down to it, I don't present myself as just the fashionable. I am. I'm just in the country right now. But either way, what I've seen is that a lot of designers, there are some that are extremely intelligent, extremely genius, and they don't feel the need to be all done up, especially in things that they design. Me, I like to wear my shit. So I even design merch for TipBux, which I would share, you know, but just not right now. I know this is all over the place. I want y'all to forgive me. This is an on the whim video, But this is what I just decided to do as an individual who's just, I'm at the point in my startup where I'm raising money, and yeah, I'm not gonna say it's not easy. I'm gonna say the stars are still aligning, and I think everything happens on the right time because we already raised the money. As of today, a year, is it 12 yet? In 3 minutes, it'll be a year since I started this company. And let me tell you, not only did we raise the money, but we exceeded expectation. But I'm not one to be overly optimistic. We're still realistic. So our biggest thing is to take small steps in the beginning in the first year. And that's what we're gonna do. But back to design. What I wanted to say is this is 20 minutes, and I watch YouTube a lot, so I hope people are really watching this shit. I'm gonna try to keep it under 30 minutes. Let's keep it under 25. Okay. Design comes from here, right? Whatever chakra points you know here, design comes from here. It comes all the way from down here, right? So from the red to the orange to the yellow, a little bit to the green, right? And design is about what you go through and what you want to have as your overall life experience. You got to remember, when you are designing, you stay true to your pain. If you don't have pain, you don't go find pain. You stay true to whatever you enjoy at that time. But everything from my music to my designs and clothing to my designs and product obsession and making sure that it's product that is good and making sure the customer is okay. It literally comes from pain because I spend my time in these places where I've been around my customers for years. You get what I'm saying? I go into these restaurants, into these bars, and I immediately talk to my customers, and man, I know their pain points. I even know their personal lives. So design, when you talk about design, you're talking about communication of your perspective from how you view the world, right? And how you've seen others view the world. Because you can get inspired by one thing. I've gotten inspired just that fast, right? My left hand snap ain't right like my right hand snap. See that? I got to work on that. So when you go about your design process, I want you to just continue to understand. Don't put timing on it. Don't put this big thing where you feel like, because that's how we are, man. Right now, this is what inspired me. So I went back to the original design, ironically from a year ago, that I thought I had to pivot, right? So when I started doing tech, I got a couple minutes. You know, the biggest thing when I self-educate and watch YouTube, all these fucking CEOs, you gotta learn how to pivot. You gotta learn how to pivot. So bitch, I pivoted so much that I just I was like, all right, well, I designed it here. And then I met somebody at a tech meetup and they said you should do like a scrollable, clickable PDF. And then I did that. And then I found Flutterflow. Shout out Flutterflow. This is not a plug, but I really love Flutterflow. And then mind you, this was over the course of months. This might have been 6-7 months. Found Flutterflow, had to readjust because I couldn't figure out how to make a circle out of the squares. And I figured it out probably a couple weeks ago, or maybe so. So once I figured it out, I was like, oh, so I got to go back to my original design. Ironically, a year from now, it took me a year to get back to my original design, and it made me want to. I'm looking at it now. I cannot share this with you, but you will have the chance to explore this. It made me want to make this video about how things sometimes really truly do happen on time and down to your design. And if you are a designer or if you are a creator, time is not something that you should think about. You should if you're in a business, but as a designer and a creator, it's not that time is not your friend, it's that time is your distraction. And the only thing you need to worry about is how you create and how you design, and do it in the most purest fucking form. I got seconds left before it's 25 minutes and I will abruptly end this. So design from your heart, design from your soul, design obsessively, but also be realistic. Design in a fucking bitch. It paused. Design in a way that you can't fathom, and take breaks. Come back. I learned that from my boy Felix Snow, who used to record my music, Felix Snow. And we would take breaks, and I never took a break, and I would get frustrated, like, why you want to take a break? But it's like, sometimes you work this bitch too much. Just design, take some time, and then read it and go about it. But just be pure to yourself. and continue to be pure to yourself and create from your soul, create from your gut, create from your root chakra. Damn, I'm a minute over. I'm gonna give myself 26 minutes and 36 seconds or some shit. Create from your soul, and don't listen, man. Them people around you, they don't have your gift. They want you to do them things that might not be synonymous to your vision. You just gotta keep fucking going, okay? You got a gift that nobody else has. And it's gonna be hard to communicate that gift because it's not making money, okay? Now listen, I'm a very rich man. I'm an extremely wealthy man. I'm one of the richest men in America, I'll tell you that. Yeah, not black, but just one of the richest men in America because of what I've created. But let me tell you something. You gotta see beyond the money. You got to see beyond the people telling you that you can't. You got to see beyond the people that's telling you should do this, but also be conscious of your actions and your habits because you might be your own worst enemy. So it's going to take a while to unlearn shit. But do your best to compensate with the unlearning. If you keep going back to your habits, just do your best to continue to create, continue to put out, continue to do. Everything is testing you to just continue. That's the consistency. Continuous belief, continuous creation,